Today, education is a path to a better and happier future for everyone. Students try to get highest degree in order to get better occupations in the future. However, some students often forget that they need to educate themselves through their own or someone else's life experiences. Today, our parents play a big role in choosing our education. Even though we choose our careers with our own lives, they introduce us to a certain field and make us attend schools, colleges, etc. They tell us their experiences with schools in the past. However, some students do not listen to their parents, and because of that, they do not gain knowledge of their parents' experiences. When we look back in history to the 1900s, we see that that period of time was completely the opposite from today. Families had similar interests through generations, and it was common for many children to follow their parents' path of occupations. The Logistic Atlas Project recorded some people who talk about their life in surrounding communities. In Lag's Informant 794-107 Topography and 06 Family and interview told a story of how education impacted his and his relatives' lives, and what it was like to live in Winfield, Louisiana, his hometown. Children had similar jobs as their parents because it was easier and convenient for them. In the 1900s, by having wildlife experiences, education was not required to succeed and to be happy. In the 1900s, American people witnessed many changes in their lives. The Great Depression, World Wars, and country centralization were main events that took place throughout the 20th century. Many students were not able to attend colleges because of the money issues or the requirement to go to the wars. Because of that, not many people had higher-level degrees such as bachelor or master degrees. They had to take any job available that only required a high or middle school degree. One of such jobs were being a farmer. One of the biggest changes for people in the 1900s was the change from agricultural to industrialized system. Many people in the South could not learn new skills needed to operate a factory due to a requirement to go to college. Therefore, many people did not want to change their way of living and keep their previous occupations and possessions such as farms. Many towns had multiple numbers of farmers. The Informant 784 informed us that Winfield wasn't a small town and it had a lot of farmers. People were happy to be farmers. Interview sounded excited and happy when he talked about his previous jobs. Throughout the recording, he described his jobs in great details, gave long responses to questions, and wanted to continue with the subject whenever a new topic was introduced in the conversation. He was a former farmer and he wanted to share his experience with the interviewer. While all of this shows us that the interviewer had passion and pride in his chosen career. Because many people were satisfied and had passion for their jobs, they were not open to learning new skills for more advanced jobs. Middle schools give us skills that help us solve everyday problems such as simple cash counting. In the 1900s, the United States had a similar education system. We can say that because of the Logistic Atlas Project's recordings. An Informant 794 only finished 8 grades, however he was able to work in different fields and communicate well with people. Because of his historic difficulties, many people were prepared to solve everyday life problems without education as well. An interviewer informed us that his grandfather was not educated. Poor fellow could not even write his name. I would write his name for him. However, he was a very smart person in life. He could not read or write, however he could count the amount of his revenue in his head. In the 1900s, it was not a necessity to attend high school or college. People could become businessmen out of their farms with basic middle school skills and the childhood experience. Not many people chose to go to school back in the 1900s. Because there were economic difficulties in the country, many people looked for a way to have unpaid workforce on the farms and fields. Many parents wanted their children to stay home and to work on the farms. The informant stated, back in old days, children did not get to go to school much. They worked all the time, everybody farmed. Throughout the years, children performed the same task in the farm, and they learned useful skills needed in the future from the experience. For example, an interviewer traveled to different towns such as El Dorado and Northland to work as a farmer, field worker, timber worker, and carpenter. Because of that, he gained his experience through having different jobs and learning new skills to better off his future. Similarly, children who did not attend schools but instead worked in fields gained their experience in farming, and many of them who did not like change eventually wanted to have some same occupation in the future. Many parents introduced their children to farming and influenced their decision on choosing future career. In addition, the same career was passed through generations. By reading into Rio's biography, we know that both of his parents were farmers. By going further, his grandparents were farmers as well. This showed us that because of constant work in the field, family generation had same interest and passion for farming. Farming knowledge or experience was passed through one generation to another, and therefore many people educated themselves through someone else's experiences. In the 1900s, people loved their jobs and tried to find a way through any obstacles that showed on their way. If they attended only middle school, they found jobs that required simple problem-solving skills, and if they could not afford to go to school, they stayed home and worked on their family's farms. The same occupation was passed through generations, and because of childhood full of farming, children wanted to continue their parents' legacy in farming. Education was not one of the most important aspects of people's lives in the 1900s. Not many had to finish schools in order to have a stabilized future and to be happy. In 1900s, many people were life smart because they had hard life experiences since their childhood, but not book smart because they did not attend schools.